North Sea, South Sea, North Sea, South Sea. Hey y'all, welcome back. Today we're checking out North Sea Lifeboats, how the RNLI saves lives in this treacherous patch of water.
The North Sea. It's captured imaginations, past and present.
Look at, oh my god!
It's where thousands of people make their living. On board fishing vessels, working for energy companies, and crewing transport ships. It's a place for recreation, but also a place fraught with danger.
Yeah.
It's one of the most challenging patches of water on the planet. A challenge the RNLI must be ready to face. North Sea Lifeboats.
Wow. Yo, that footage of those waves. What if you're stuck out there in a little dinghy? What if you go out there in a jet ski and the weather changes and you're going up a wave that's the size of a 10-story building? There's a lot of oil in that water up there, isn't there? Isn't that, I've heard? A lot of cod. Gotta get those fish, y'all. Fish and chips. So I guess a lot of people are up there for fun, but also because they work up there and the weather gets crazy and they gotta be rescued.
The sea. Ranging from the Straits of Dover to the Orkney and Shetland Islands, and the edge of the Norwegian Sea. The North Sea encompasses 750 square kilometers of seawater. The water temperature averages 17 degrees in the summer and 6 degrees in the winter.
What is 6 degrees Celsius in Fahrenheit? 42 degrees Fahrenheit. That's cold. That's 10 degrees above freezing.
The air temperature can drop as low as 0 degrees. Winter brings frequent gales and storms to the area. Storm surges in particular can be deadly.
And there's rocks.
One such event in 1953 flooded several coastlines, taking 2,000 lives. All these conditions make for a difficult area for the RNLI.
Look at that.
An area that pushes lifesavers and lifeboats to the limit. Lifeboat rescues in the North Sea. From Lowestoft in Norfolk to Lerwick and Aith in Shetland. Over 50 lifeboat stations count the North Sea as part of their patch.
50.
Inshore lifeboats operate close to shore. Their speed and maneuverability and ability to operate in shallow water makes them a vital part of our life-saving operations.
Okay, that makes sense. I dodge those rocks.
It's the all-weather lifeboat fleet that have to be ready to venture further out. Often spending hours at sea.
Oh my god.
Battling.
Y'all, I would vomit. Oh god. I couldn't handle that. I'd be popping those Dramamine. I couldn't do it. So they got the little tiny boats for close to the shore because you gotta maneuver around those rocks. You gotta get in shallow water. You gotta get to specific spots. And then they have these bigger boats to go out in those gigantic waves. Makes sense.
The big waves and storm conditions to answer desperate calls for help.
Look at that.
Some of the most difficult and arduous rescues in RNLI history have taken place on the North Sea.
So beautiful paintings of these horrible
Iconic
moments.
lifeboat crew member Henry Blogg earned each of his 7 medals for gallantry here while stationed at Cromer.
Where's Cromer? Cromer, show me autumn. Cromer. Oh. That's not as far north as I thought it would be. So we're talking all this. For some reason, before we saw this map, I was thinking way up here, but it's all this. Okay. Got it.
In April 1973, Bridlington lifeboat crew took on hurricane conditions to locate a fishing vessel that had lost power, despite heavy snow and force 12 winds.
Y'all, sorry to stop it, but that little thing out in those waves, like that seems like a lost cause. Like what? You're gonna die, right? That's what it seems like. There's no way.
The lifeboat crew evacuated all 5 on board the stricken fishing vessel.
Wow.
Coxswain John King was awarded the Silver Medal for gallantry for his part in the rescue. In 1966, the lifeboat crew at Walton and Frinton spent over 26 hours on duty as they launched 4 times to go to the aid of a grounded steamer, navigating a heavy break-in swell and strong winds to bring the casualties to safety. Coxswain Frank Broom was given a bronze medal for gallantry for his leadership through the marathon rescue.
Probably
The
deserves
most
it.
recent gold medal winning shout also took place in the North Sea. The rescue of the Green Lily, 19th November 1997. The 3,000-ton cargo vessel Green Lily lost power off the coast of Shetland. Hewitt Clark, coxswain of Lowick Lifeboat, and his crew launched to the rescue. Navigating 50-foot seas and force 11 winds, Hewitt manoeuvred the lifeboat alongside the casualty vessel, while the volunteer crew stood on deck and hauled the casualties on board the lifeboat, bringing 5 people to safety.
Wait, casualties? People died?
And his crew launched to the rescue. Navigating 50-foot seas and force 11 winds, Hewitt manoeuvred the lifeboat alongside the casualty vessel, while the volunteer crew stood on deck and hauled the casualties on board the lifeboat, bringing 5 people to safety. A rig arrived and towed the Green Lily to a position where a Coast Guard helicopter could evacuate the remaining crew. One by one, they are each airlifted to safety. Tragically, Coast Guard winchman Bill Deacon lost his life in the rescue, swept overboard as he waited to be pulled to safety.
Nightmare. Man, this guy's a hero. Ah, rest in peace, sir. What's his name again? Bill Deacon. Rest in peace, Bill. Mr.
Lost his
Deacon,
life
sir.
in the rescue, swept overboard as he waited to be pulled to safety, having
that's a
sent the
nightmare.
casualties up ahead of himself. Coxswain Hewitt Clark was awarded the gold medal for
He sent the other people before.
Coxswain Hewitt Clark was awarded the gold medal for gallantry, and his crew were each awarded a bronze medal for gallantry. Out on a shout into the North Sea. What's it like being out on a rescue in the middle of the North Sea?
A nightmare.
Stephen Manson, the current coxswain of Lowick Lifeboat, described what it was like to head far out to sea.
My granddad always used to tell me, always be scared of the sea because it's always technically trying to kill you. And we do deal with bigger seas than you get in most other places in the world, and colder. But sometimes you can feel a little bit vulnerable.
Yeah.
It's definitely a sea to be respected.
Wow. What was that his grandfather said? Always be scared of the sea because it's always technically trying to kill you. Yeah. Wow. Wow. It's terrifying.
And we do, you can feel a little bit vulnerable. It's definitely a sea to be respected. It was a howling gale, really big seas even in the, so right from the get-go we were punching into it and it just never eased off at all. It was a battle the whole way. It was hand steering, autopilot wasn't an option.
How do you know where you're
Everybody
going?
was strapped in the whole way there. You have to try and make sure that you, one, staying on the course and that you're not getting hit entirely side on by the waves. But it was quite a confused sea, so they were sort of hitting us from every direction. Although the Severn is the biggest boat in the fleet, we felt like a very small boat that day, considering the size of the seas that were way above the top of the wheelhouse at times. It was a little bit intimidating. Danish trawler?
The waves were bigger than the boat. I grew up in Florida and I've done some water stuff, and I do know that you go perpendicular to the waves. You don't want to get hit by the side, on the side of the wave. But what am I trying to? You don't want to get hit on the side by a wave because then you're just gonna topple over. So you gotta go straight into them. But he's saying that the waves are they're coming from everywhere. What do you do? Yo, these guys are so brave.
Top of the wheelhouse at times. It was a little bit intimidating. Danish trawler? come fast on the bottom, so his fishing gear was stuck on the bottom, and with the rolling seas, they'd ended up flooding their engine room, so they'd lost power. So they were just really at the mercy of the sea, taking a beating. There was a standby vessel on scene, but he was unable to tow, so he just stood by him until we could get there. I think we were 3.5, 4 hours getting out to him. It was not safe at all to try and evacuate them off the boat. So we got a tow line across to him, established the tow, and once he was happy, I started making my way back to Lerwick very, very slowly with him. I think eventually that boat would have sank, and probably realistically they would have had to abandon to a life raft and hope that the supply vessel that was close by could pick them up.
3 or 4 hours to get out there. Yo, it's crazy. Like, and this is in modern times. Just imagine if there was no communication, there was no emergency services. It's no wonder it took Western culture so long to get to the American continent with this kind of water. Amazing, totally amazing. And these guys are just like, this is a job they chose. This is a job they chose to have. Oh my God.
Into a life raft and hope that the supply vessel that was close by could pick them up. But in seas that rough, they would have been quite hard to see, and they would have moved quite quickly. I fully believe we definitely saved 3 people's lives that day.
I'm sure you did.
Tackling the challenges of the North Sea. The North Sea is an unforgiving environment, and while brave lifeboat crews will launch in rough seas, many lost their lives trying to rescue those in peril here, including disasters at Fraserburgh, Longhope and Arbroath. Today's all-weather lifeboats have been designed and built to tackle the challenges this patch provides. The 7 class lifeboat, the Trent class lifeboat,
Okay.
the Tamar class lifeboat,
That thing's fast.
and the Shannon class lifeboat.
What's the difference?
These lifeboats have the strength and maneuverability needed to take on the scale of the challenge. They are able to launch into big storms, even when the size of waves can make your lifeboat feel incredibly small. Specially designed seats help counter the violent motion of the waves. Comforts like air conditioning and tea-making facilities help make those long shouts more bearable. Self-righting.
Yo, I would need a cup of tea the entire time. I would back into a corner, cover myself with a sheet, and just sip tea. I couldn't do this.
Making facilities help make those long shouts more bearable. Self-righting is a key safety feature, a combination of clever design and implementation of physics. Intake valves automatically shut during a capsize.
Wait, self-righting, so if the boat flips over, it automatically flips correctly? That's amazing.
Safety feature.
Hang on. Got several videos going on in this one spot. Let me look at this.
Self-righting is a key safety feature, a combination of clever design and implementation of physics.
How does it do that? A self-righting boat is designed to automatically return to an upright position after capsizing or rolling over. Yes. Do you have any videos I could watch about that? Oh, looks like they're tipping this over on purpose, and maybe they're testing it. Okay, this probably isn't gonna show us how it works. Is there like a weight? Oh, here we go.
A self-righting boat is a boat which can be turned or flipped under any angle, and whatever angle you pick, it will righten itself keel down in its normal position. Even if you flip it 180 degrees, so keel upwards, the boat will then flip to its normal position, keel downwards. We have 2 methods of testing if a boat is self-righting. We can look at software simulations of the boat, analyzing if the volume of the different parts of the boat will displace enough water to provide buoyancy, hence flipping it over. The other method of testing if a boat is self-righting is by taking it to sea and testing physically if it's self-righting, turning it upside down and see what happens. We do that by hooking a hoisting loop on the side of the boat where the hoist goes underneath the hull of the boat.
What we were
and we
watching,
then
I
pull
guess.
the boat, turning it upside down. What we see at the first stage of this pull is the boat is resisting a lot against this pull. That's an indication of the stability of the boat. And even if the boat is turned roughly 90 degrees, it starts to bounce back to its normal position. For a boat to be self-righting, the characteristics you want to seek out is that the center of gravity is quite low. You want voluminous parts high on the boat. You want all parts to be watertight and air-filled. You want the boat to work as an upside-down pendulum, basically. Most of the boats Ravner has built up until today are self-rightening, mainly because we are building boats for Coast Guard, rescue squadrons, clientele which require the boats to be usable under very rough conditions.
So basically he says like, okay, low center of gravity, so most of the weight is on the bottom, and then on the top of the boat, he said voluminous stuff, like the cabin, things filled with air, so that naturally it just does that. No weights or anything needed, which is probably good, because that could, like, it's just built into the design of the boat, I guess.
Physics. Intake valves automatically shut during a capsize, and the sealed wheelhouse acts as an air bubble. So if the lifeboat capsizes, it will right itself automatically.
Oh, he was going to tell us anyway,
Other innovations, like the Shannon's water jets, aid maneuverability, and the shape of each lifeboat's hull has been carefully designed to minimize impact of the big waves when out at sea.
I was wondering how they turn so sharp. I was thinking they have some special, like, rudders, but it's jets. The water jets. That makes more sense.
Hull has been carefully designed to minimize impact of the big waves when out at sea. The lifeboat is just part of the solution. Hours and hours of training also helps crew prepare as best they can for whatever this treacherous patch of water can throw at them. Especially important when you factor in that many RNLI crew members do not come from a maritime background. The RNLI's training turns brave volunteers into competent, skilled lifesavers.
Volunteers?
What makes it all possible?
Hang on. No. They're paid, right? This is not a volunteer fireman situation, right? Most RNLI crew members are unpaid volunteers, but some roles, like lifeguards, are paid positions. The volunteers are compensated for expenses they incur, but they do not receive a salary. What? Who are these people? Y'all, What? Wow. I feel like they should be paid a lot, right? I'm totally confused. What? Are these the greatest people on the planet?
What makes it all possible? The
Wonderful
North Sea
humans.
may be one of the most daunting places to crew a lifeboat, but when the call to rescue comes in, brave volunteers will drop everything to launch to the rescue.
I can't believe
to their
they're
dedication and
volunteers.
courage and the support they receive from people like you.
Y'all.
Your kindness powers their courage. It gives them the kit, training, and lifeboats they need to
Pay
launch
them.
into the North Sea,
Pay
making
them
this
money.
vast, treacherous patch of water a safer place for everyone.
Yo, these guys should be making $1 million a year. It's volunteer. That makes me want to cry. It's so, like, sad, but also beautiful. These guys need money. Up. Wow. That's my nightmare. And these guys are going out there just, I'll do it. What the world? Wow, what am I doing? What am I missing? What perks do they get that I'm not seeing? Do they get like a Lamborghini or something? Like what? Y'all, if you're in the RNLI, you have my utmost respect. That's a beautiful thing to do. I don't know what else to say. I'm flabbergasted. Volunteer, y'all. Volunteer. What? That's beautiful. But also, like, guys, come on. You should get paid for risking your life. Well, y'all, I'd like to say thanks to my patrons. I'd like to say thanks to my Buy Me Coffee folks. I'd like to say thanks to the RNLI volunteers. Thank y'all for watching this with me. I'll see y'all next time. Later. Wow. Amazing.